Hey, it's your boy, the Casual King MMA, and I would like to tell a little story about a man called Michael Chiesa. If you're watching this video as it comes out, we just saw Michael Chiesa have a massive retirement at home in Seattle, given an absolute layup against a washed Nico Price. He had a massive retirement video and speech, better than the quality that former champion and heavyweight goat Stipe Miocic has. And you may ask yourself, well, who is Michael Chiesa? Who is this world beater that the UFC dedicated so much time to? Was he a world champion, five-time world champion, the best to ever do it? No. Michael Chiesa was a lightweight and welterweight fighter that peaked in the rankings at number 5. Okay, so why did Chiesa get this amazing spectacle? Very thoughtful. Why did Michael Chiesa deserve it? It all starts with a little man called Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, Khabib, the beef is well documented. Started where Khabib confronted Conor's teammate and ex-friend Artem Lobov about chicken comments. Chicken means a much meaner thing in their culture than it does in ours. That resulted in Khabib slapping Artem Lobov around. Conor didn't take too kindly to this. Showed up to Khabib's fight with Ally Quinta to to get revenge. Khabib was in a car. Conor threw a dolly at the car, cutting up Michael Chiesa and making him pull out of his fight. This was very big at the time because Michael Chiesa wasn't the original opponent for Khabib. It was going to be Khabib, Tony Ferguson for the belt. Tony Ferguson got injured. They tried to have Max Holloway step in on short notice. Max Holloway got injured. Got injured weight cutting, which is a whole nother story. And Ally Quinta eventually got the call. What's interesting to know is Chiesa was the highest ranked fighter on the card as he was fighting Anthony Pettis. Michael Chiesa would have gotten the title shot against Khabib if this had not happened. And while Michael Chiesa is not a world beater, he had a very interesting stylistic matchup against Khabib. In his mind, at least, a very winnable fight. Conor McGregor, in his mind, could have easily costed Chiesa his career. Chiesa could have sued Conor for millions of dollars and prevented the biggest fight that has ever happened in UFC history from happening. Over 3 million buys, made the UFC easily over $200 million, made new fans, and grew the sport to where it is today, where it sold for $1 billion at Paramount. Without this fight, this never happens, and Chiesa could have prevented all of that. So, what did Chiesa do? He didn't file charges against Conor McGregor. He didn't even sue Conor McGregor. And the UFC, let's just say, was very, very grateful. That is why when you see Michael Chiesa fighting a washed Tony Ferguson, and when you see Michael Chiesa getting a massive UFC retirement, that is why. Tony Ferguson was a huge name, and while washed, he's still a big name. You're going to feed him to the Paddy Pimblets of the world. You're not going to feed him to an aging Michael Chiesa unless you feel like you owe him a favor. This has gotten Chiesa analyst jobs, and after his retirement, the UFC will continue to pay him. And he's not the only one who's put in this position. Anthony Smith, when fighting John Jones, got illegally kneed in the head. He was down in that fight, and in his mind, and in all of our minds, he had no realistic way to lose. Instead of taking the DQ win, stripping John Jones of the belt, affecting legacy, giving John Jones another loss, and creating a real headache for the UFC, Anthony Smith went out there and lost. He does a lot. He went out there and lost, though, and the UFC was very grateful. And Anthony Smith, the UFC tried with the matchmaking. He's just not that good. While the UFC tried, what they ended up doing was giving him an analyst job as well. So in the future, when you see Michael Chiesa and Anthony Smith wearing a suit on an analyst desk, doing a mediocre to okay job, and you wonder how they got their job, that is why. And I think they made the right decision. While they did not get the big payday in Chiesa's case, or even in Anthony Smith's case, having the belt, being able to rematch John Jones for the title comes with a big payday. They are now going to have a job for life. And while in the long run, it's probably going to be more money. A lot of these guys can struggle having jobs after a UFC career. It's as Dana White says, it's an opportunity, kid. It's not a career. I think they made the right decision, and I think in the case of Anthony Smith and Michael Chiesa, they proved that bootlicking is the best base for MMA. Peace.